All right, I have tried my best to help you understand there are about 6 types of problems you need to be ready for when it comes to combining integers. I said the first 2 are elementary level, which is the ones you see on flashcards. 5 plus 7 is 12. Don't overthink it. 8 minus 3 is 5. Don't overthink it. So again, when you see the ones that look very familiar, just go straight through to the answer and move on. The next 2 are introduced in bell ringers so that we could try to help you get used to it. But one has been adjusted to the algebra level. I'll talk about that in a second. We talked about what happens when you subtract 2 minus 8 and you don't have enough. And what I told you was, or what I tried to help you understand, or we try to help you understand, is that it's the same as 8 minus 2, which is I have $8 and I spent 2, so I have 6. That's from here. But that's not the same because the numbers are reversed. And so because it is a reverse subtraction, it means you don't have enough. This is I had $2. I walked out of the store with something worth $8. I now owe $6. So all that happens is it's just like 8 minus 2, but you're in debt. You no longer have $6 because you didn't have enough to pay for it. You're now in debt 6. The other one here was taking for you to have to remember that when you combine a negative with more negatives, I think I said something like bad plus bad is worse, but when you have a negative and more negatives, it makes a bigger group of negatives. So it'll be negative 14. So you have to add them up. This one was introduced as negative 4 plus negative 10. But what I told you was that these 2 signs are never going to be shown in algebra. They just simply ignore this plus and then they put it together like that. So again, it will take practice. But if you just remember that this is a negative 4, the way we've been trying to help you see it, and this is a negative 10, that when you take 4 steps backwards and 10 more steps backwards, you've now taken 14 steps backwards. The 5th one does require for you to understand the basic logic of understanding it when signs are different, we subtract, and that the larger number gets the sign. When you look at this, you have a negative 4 combined with a positive 7. You can think about it like the team we don't like scored 4 points. The team we do like scored 7 points. Our team won positive by 3. Because again, if they scored 4, we scored 7, we won by 3. Same thing over here. If they scored 9 and we scored 2, guess who lost? We did. So the negatives won and they won by 7. So again, because these signs are different, 7 minus 4 is 3. Because 7 is bigger, the sign is positive. Because the signs are different, 9 minus 2 is 7. Because 9 is bigger, the answer is negative. It's kind of like the same thing here. Both of these are positive, so we added. This is a positive 8 and a negative 3, so we subtracted the 5, and 8 is bigger, so it's positive. Same thing here. This is a positive 2, so again, the signs are different, so we subtracted 8 minus 2 is 6. 8 is the bigger number, it's negative, so it's negative. Even here, the signs are the same, so we added. 10 is bigger and it's negative, so it's negative. So those rules don't really change, and you can use them all the way through, but we're trying to get you used to the idea of just making sure you're ready for that. And the last type simply requires a quick switching of the signs when we see a double negative. This does take practice, so you have to pay attention. This is not something that we can force you to do. You have to catch it when you see it. When I see negative 4 minus negative 8, that's a double negative, so you switch both of those over to be a positive. All of a sudden, you have a negative 4 and a positive 8. Now you have to follow your rules. The signs are different, and so you subtract. In other words, they scored 4, we scored 8. You subtract to get 4. 8 is bigger, so it's a positive 4. You don't need to put the plus, but again, it doesn't hurt. Negative 9 minus negative 5. Again, once I see the double negative, I switch this. You do not touch that. It's the 2 that are right next to each other. Once again, you have a negative 9 and a positive 5. The signs are different, so we subtract. Or you could say they scored 9, we scored 5, so who won by how much? 9 is bigger, so the sign is negative. In the last type, which is actually pretty easy, double negative here, you switch them over. You have a positive 4 and a positive 6. That's just 10 because it's 4 plus 6. All right. So outside of that, make sure you're talking to your teacher. If you're still having issues, if I am your teacher, make sure you talk to me. But I will talk to you later.